man. Here we go. All right, I'll make a quick intro and then we'll jump in. All right.
Okay.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Father, Son, and Title Show Zoom podcast. This is something new that we're trying. We're going to be doing multiple podcasts during the week. So we're just jumping in and doing it. We got a great guest with us today. And so we're going to get started. If you're interested in joining the Zoom podcast, being a guest, please reach out to us, DM us. We'd love to have you in the show. Free promotion. Jump into the Father, Son, and Title Show podcast. All right. Spencer Hal is our guest today. Man, I've been wanting to get you on. We've been trying to get you onto our live feed. We weren't able to do that. We started this one, and here we got you, man. So time permitting, Spencer Hal, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm glad our schedules, finally aligned, and I'm so excited to speak with you guys and be a part of what y'all building.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Likewise, I know you got some good things going on, so we want to definitely hear about those. But first, man, tell us, who is Spencer Hal outside of the real estate world?
Well, outside of the real estate world, I'm an encourager. I'm a friend of many. I'm a humble guy. I like to say that I'm a spirit having a human experience.
There you go.
Right. So, I'm all about business, man. When I'm not doing real estate, I'm probably reading. I'm taking the dog out for a walk, taking him to the park. I'm all about lifestyle, man. I just love to feel good. I love to encourage others. And I just try to live my life from contribution.
There you go. And you love to look good because you're looking sharp today, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I had to throw on something for you guys, So, y'all were going to be sharp too.
I like the jacket, man. I've been trying to look for a jacket that color. I don't know if it'll work for me. It works for you. I don't know that it'll work for me. So
you got to wear it with confidence.
There you go, man. There you go. Well, I definitely can see your style in what you do. I follow you on Instagram. I see the things that you're doing. We had coffee a few months ago. And just the way you present yourself is definitely what you said you do. So where you come from, man? You born and raised in Texas, or you just get here? Give me that.
So
story.
Yeah, I'm originally from Lake Charles, Louisiana. For those that don't know, we're pretty much next door to Orange, Texas. So we're the southwest corner of Louisiana.
Okay.
I migrated over to Texas in August of 2020, man. August 25th, I woke up. It was a Monday morning. I was just going about business as usual. And then I found out later that day that there's a Category 3 hurricane in the Gulf. Needless to say, that same day I was in Texas. I was in Dallas, Texas.
You're smart one. You're the smart one.
I got out the way, man. I've learned that when nature does what it does, you got to get out the way, right? And so it made landfall on August 27th as a Category 550 mile an hour wind, and it just devastated my hometown. While I was out, on evacuated, I fell in love with Dallas, man. I fell in love with the skyline, the energy here, great food, people were friendly. So I spent about a month back and forth between Houston, Texas, and Lafayette, Louisiana. Finally, I caught my insurance. I'm like, look, I had enough. I'm headed back to Dallas. I need a place to stay. Y'all better put me somewhere nice, right? And so,
give me the Omni, man.
Oh yeah, I literally was right across from the Omni. It wasn't the Omni, but it was still nice. I was in Power on the 25th floor.
Nice.
And so I just remember being in that hotel. Every day I would wake up, it was almost like having just tears in my eyes of just gratitude, man. I felt like God had placed me from a pond to an ocean. I really had an opportunity I saw it as an opportunity to expand, gain new territory, conquer new grounds, if you will. But it was a life-changing opportunity, man. It definitely had its challenges. When I moved to Dallas, I knew 2 people. But I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity to be here. Most people, it was a disaster, in which it was, but I used that disaster and turned it into an opportunity.
Exactly. That's nice. That's nice, man. 2 people you knew? Who were those people?
So one was my cousin who I grew up with. He's actually from Houston. He moved up to Dallas about 8 years ago. And then one was a friend of mine who I grew up with as a kid. He works in the Denton area, and we were basically in diapers together.
Okay. All right, man. So that's it. And you stood and you're going to do it.
I didn't look back,
There you go. There you go.
I prayed, I just remember praying and asking God, I said, God, when I get to Dallas, I don't want to struggle, man. I've had a lot of challenging times in my life. Like I want to be able to adapt without going through a period that just breaks me down, right? And although I had those challenges, I'm going to save my remark for when you ask me that question that you guys want to ask. But um, I just asked for that grace to be able to make this transition smoothly. I knew it wasn't going to be easy, but just give me the grace to stick it through, right? And I took that and ran with it.
There you go, man. There you go. That sounds a little bit like our story. We knew one family member, which was my wife's uncle, and that was it, man. I didn't know anybody else in all of Texas, and it was rough. It was new. It was fun, scary, all at the same time. No contacts, no people to resources to call and say, hey, help me out here with maybe a job or maybe connection, things like that. So we definitely been there. It took some years to really finally get to where we felt like, okay, this is home and we ain't going anywhere. We're not going backwards. We're not going back to so-called home.
Yeah.
We really had to burn the boats and just say, this is the life that we're going to be. And like that grace that God gave to get here, he got us here. And then it felt like he kind of scaled that back a little bit, said, all right, you're on your own now. You need to make this work. So yeah, definitely interesting. And the same
real
way
quick,
too,
I do want to say this for all the listeners of your show today. I want them to be encouraged by both of our stories, right? Not knowing people, not having resources. Don't be afraid of that. Make the jump and trust God on the way down. He's always going to make provisions for you.
that's it, man. We got a lot of stories, man. One of these days we're going to do a personal interview of ourselves, and share some of our personal stories. And I remember I met with you the first time we met. We were talking a little bit, swapping some stories, and you made a comment about, hey, people need to hear that stuff, whether it's just like as a man related or just our personal family struggles, like, and that's so important. And the more and more we talk and meet with people, even about social media, it's like, just be real. That's what this society wants right now, is
But it's
realness.
missing.
Is good point. Good point. Very true. This world's missing a lot of things, man. But no, that's awesome, man. I remember when we got here, and I'm driving around looking for a job, and I remember talking to God in my car, and I'm just like, I said, God, I said, when are things gonna get back to the way they were? And I got a quick answer. I'm a firm believer in God, and sometimes He don't answer it very quick.
Yeah.
This one He answered quick, and He says, it ain't never gonna be the way it was. And I was like, oh my gosh, so scary. But I'm thankful, and at a later point, I remember asking God, you know what? I don't have any friends. I said, but I'm not even going to look for friends. You bring me the right friends. Other than that, I don't want him. I don't want anybody in my life that's not right for me, And man, we've been on this crazy journey. And so definitely relate to that, man. That stuff there. So interesting stuff. You married, kids, anything like that? Give me some of that personal stuff, man.
Personally, I'm in a relationship. I know she probably won't see this, but I'm thinking, I'm in the process of ring shopping, so I'm excited.
Okay, all right.
But no kids. I do have a fur baby.
Not
So
saying
unlike
that.
you packed up a family and moved the family from California. I just had myself to think about, which I think is a little more easier, right, to make that transition.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, it's me, my lady, my fur baby, and we're living life in Dallas.
There you go, man. What kind of dog? What kind of dog we talking?
French bulldog.
A French bulldog.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it.
And you can follow him on Instagram at Cash Brownie. Send him a follow.
There you go. All right, we're gonna do that. We gotta follow. Christian and I will follow for sure, man. I'm not a dog owner. I like dogs, but man, I just can't clean up after dogs and do all that work, man. But I had 6 kids, so I don't want to be doing any of that stuff, man. But maybe one day I'll get one.
You know what? For me, it was emotional support. I'm just gonna be brutally honest, man. When I made the transition from Louisiana, it was emotionally tough. We had that hurricane hit. Month and a half later, another hurricane hit. A few months after that, my city was underwater from a flood. because it was so much debris that the water, the culverts were covered with debris, and it caused the city to flood. And so I just remember, like, I'm in an apartment in Plano at the time, and I'm stressed. Like, it's your home, and everything that you know is upside down. So it was a stressful period. I got through it, and then finally I just said, you know what? I'm going to get me a dog. I need some love in this house.
There you go, man.
So, he was a great investment. I mean, I enjoy him to this day. I don't want to live life without him. Well, I'm not gonna say that, but he's a heavy part. He's a big part.
Yeah. Until you get married, and then the wife says, "Hey, you know what? Somebody got to go."
He's just in love, so he's not.
There you go, man. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. What else to say? So, and I know we're gonna get to some of the real estate stuff, but in Louisiana, were you doing real estate already?
I was. I
You were
started my
doing real
career
estate?
at 15, man. At that time, I was coming through another transitional period, and I remember I had dreadlocks down my back probably for about 9 years. I was living a very different life. And I just asked myself, what could I sell legally and make the most amount of money? Houses popped in my head. January came around, I enrolled in school, and I never looked back. So yeah,
Wow.
I was, 2 years doing real estate there. I was the top 5 producer of my market center out of 105 agents. I finished top 5 both years, cap both years. And for those that don't know what a cap is, that's when you pay the company dollar. For my market center at that time was $21,000. So my first 2 years, I paid my market center full cap.
Wow. Wow. Awesome, man.
I've
Awesome.
been blessed, man.
There you go. There you go, man. All right, man. We're gonna jump over real quick to a couple of these questions. Christian's gonna ask them, and so give us your best answer, man.
I just want to
Let's
say
go.
real quick though, you said you're super humble. Well, there's 4 trophies right behind you, and so
Those are from high school.
And you know what? I can't imagine you with dreadlocks. I'm trying to imagine it. I can't, man.
Long time ago, man. I mean, different
different
chapter.
life. Different
Yeah.
life. When you get really, really mad, what is your go-to word or phrase?
So here's I'm human, right? I have my moments, but I believe that this has been a game changer for me in my life. I recently, every hour, I set a time when my alarm goes off, and my message that pops up says, "Take 2 minutes to express gratitude." And so why that's important for me is because as an entrepreneur, it's a roller coaster, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of emotional stress that comes with, not having a dependable paycheck, having to create a paycheck. And so I just try to remind myself, hey, find time each and every hour to give thanks. Whether it's gasoline, whether it's the internet where you can work, whether it's a roof over your head, clothes on your back, whatever it is, you can find time to give thanks and remember somebody has it worse. So that's kind of like the butter on my shoulder that allows the anger to roll off, man. Because I used to have a temper. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I think through maturity, going through life and learning how to trust God, man, that really put things in perspective. I'm still a work in progress, right? But I feel like for me, every time my alarm goes off, I express my gratitude. That hour becomes a new day. And so that's how I live my life.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. That's good stuff.
Yeah, I like it. Second question: what is one piece of advice you'd give to somebody on what not to do? Don't get married at 19 is my dad's advice.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't give you advice on what not to do. I would say learn from what experiences you didn't like, right? Because that's what life is for. Life, you're here to experience, you're here to grow, and you can't do that without making mistakes. So I wouldn't tell you not to do something. I would just say be conscious enough to make the decision to learn from the mistakes that you make and move accordingly.
Awesome, man. I like it.
Good advice. Good advice. How old are you?
36.
You're a youngster, man. You're a youngster.
Getting up there, man. I remember the 18 to 22-year-old days.
And the reason I asked Spencer is because you got some good stuff to say, man. So I could definitely tell you're sharing a little piece, tiny piece of your story. But like you say, you've been through some things. And this is where it counts. If like what you just said, do you learn from the past? Do I learn from my mistakes, and better yet, others' mistakes, to change my life and get to where I'm at? I love the perspective, man. I love the reminder of gratitude. I'm gonna have to do that, man, because that's good. That will help me. And you're right. Being in sales and being what we do, emotional roller coaster all day long, man. The highs and the lows. It's like, gosh,
So
So
you can paint this picture that like once you become an entrepreneur, things are just peaches and creams, like you
yeah,
just up from here. But the truth is, without the lows, you're not going to experience a new high. So you have to have the lows, but you have to keep the lows in the proper perspective.
for sure, for sure. And it's important that we as people, a lot of people are embarrassed to share their low moments, their adversity. And for one thing I've decided from, probably 10, 12 years ago was like, no, I'm going to share whatever I got, because in reality, my lows will help you more. And my stories of my low times will help someone more than my success times. Nothing wrong with success. Obviously, we all want it. We're trying for it. We're striving for it. But the low moments will really push you to keep going if someone shares those and say, man, I went through this, I went through that, and yet I'm here now, and yet it's still not all perfect. I'm still going, but through those times there's been success. So I love it, man. We're definitely going to dive deeper at another point.
Back on that. So I love to share this story, man. I read a book called Jump from Steve Harvey, and he had a friend whose grandmother was on her deathbed. And she said, whatever the guy's name was, do you know who your great grandfather is? He said, no. She said, do you know why? He was like, I don't know. She said, because he never left you nothing. Make sure that when you leave this earth, that your children's grandchildren know your name. And I think that's just such an awesome perspective, because you open up a new world when you get outside of yourself, right?
Yeah.
I always tell people, use your gifts to serve others and you'll never go without. That's my philosophy.
That's good. That's real good. And it's true. And it's true. Very true, man. We're working for that. Shoot. I can't remember the way it was spoken one day, or book that I was reading, but it was kind of like, you're you're working towards this legacy all the time, but man, it starts from way at the beginning of life, where you're just working on it. And you're right. We have a story about my dad. My dad was in real estate and stuff, and he was successful in his own right, his own circle. But when he died, I mean, there was not like this big wheel of money and all this stuff. He took care of my mom. She had a few homes and all that stuff. It was all good, but he was dying, and we knew it. He was dying of liver cancer. But he only had a few months left. He knew it. He was at home. He didn't chose not to go to the doctor and do all the chemo and all that stuff for another year of life. He said, I want quality over quantity. And so he started going through his stuff, like his office stuff, and he was giving away, like he gave like all his pens to my brother, and he gave his little booklet, small things, that personal things, and he didn't have no elaborate pens. We're talking like Bic pens, they're just basic stuff, but he was going through them. And I remember one day I went to his house, and he was like looking around in his office. His office was like empty. And he's like, Mark goes, man, he goes, I forgot to give you something. I gave them to your brothers. And so I'm like, oh, I said, Dad, it's all right. We're joking and laughing about it. And he looked at his dad in his drawer, and he had this gold safety pin, like a big safety pin in gold, though, no, it was just gold. It wasn't gold. It was just the color of gold. And he's like, yeah, he's like, here, you can have this. And I was like, oh, okay, it's kind of bent and everything. I'm like, oh, Dad, thanks. He just wanted to give me some. We laughed. It was jokey, but it was cool. But I always remember that, because my older brother would say, hey, when our dad died, he didn't have anything to give, because at the end, because during his life, he gave it all away during his life. There was nothing left to give at the end. I'd rather live that way. I want to give it all during my lifetime of whatever I can give to someone, and not wait till I'm dead. Let's give it now. You need this, you need that. What I'm going to do. I thought it was great, and my brother had to point that out to me. Yeah, how he did it. So
Brown said, awesome, down E.
What was that?
Les Brown said, down E.
Yes, yes, man. So, all right, man. We're going to jump from those things, jump over to business. And we really want to hear what you're doing. I know you're an agent. but I also know you got something else going on that you're doing. So give us a little bit of both, man, and give some self-promotion right now.
Okay, so yes, I am a licensed realtor in both Texas and Louisiana. I'm actually surrendering my license. I'm going inactive in Louisiana. I'm going to solely focus on here in Dallas. But more importantly, man, I made a shift I say about 5 weeks ago into the digital space. You know, my philosophy is I'm a digital marketing company that sells real estate. And so, what that looks like is I create content for realtors, builders, real estate professionals, right? I created a subscription model, and that is my primary focus. Now, I still sell homes, I still have a real estate business, but I always think about what are my gifts and how can I work from them. I asked myself 5 weeks ago, man, what are my biggest assets in real estate? And the answers that came to me was time, because as a full-time agent, I don't have a time commitment to anything else. So that's an asset for me, right? If I
Sure.
use my time correctly. Video, content creation, and editing. Those three things make my heart sing. And so I said, that's what I'm going to focus on. And I'm not going to do anything outside of that. Right. And so that's what I'm building my business forward on: video, content creation, and editing. I'm going to specialize in those spaces, redesign, reimagine how I sell real estate and who my target customers are.
Nice, nice, man. So these videos that we have been seeing on
It's a setup.
Instagram and everywhere else, yeah. So are you already promoting? I know you just started, but are you already promoting anyone or any of their homes yet? Or you're still working on all the content creation right now?
So it's funny that you asked that. Yesterday, I had an important meeting, which I actually landed my first client on the digital side, who's a builder
Hey,
here in
there
the.
we go.
So that was a blessing, right? I'm celebrate a little bit. But I also have stuff in the works on the other side of things in terms of real estate and just the traditional side of real estate. And so I have a meeting Tuesday on that side. But from this point on, man, I'm just going to scale big, scale fast. And it's all about preparation, finding that next client, getting it in front of them, showing them the numbers. I've created over 340,000 views on my platform in 60 days. So
Nice.
I asked myself, if I can do it for me, how much and I only knew two people being here, right? So imagine somebody who's deep rooted in this market. If I give you a strategy, help you design it and build it, how much more valuable could that be for you when you have a database? And so that's where my focus
Exactly.
shifts, using my gifts to serve others.
Yeah. So if I'm a realtor and I've got a good book of business, I come to you and say, hey, I want to get more active on social media with my homes and whatnot. Then you will sit down with me and help promote all my homes that I've got listed. Give me exactly what you would do for me, the realtor.
So I created a content capture business. First, to me, I think it's the first of its kind. Most people, when they think about the digital space, it's a content creation. But the difference is I capture short, high quality video, and I leverage that to agents who can use in their marketing. Now, the other side of that is coaching. I strategize with you to teach you how to be effective with that marketing. So that's how I used my skills to help other people grow their businesses. That makes sense?
Nice. Yeah, no, it does. It does. Because I've seen some other, agents do some videos and some nice videos out there and things like that. I'm assuming they're just doing them for themselves. And those that know the space, understand the space, can obviously do some creative things, with it. But I don't know that they're just doing it for themselves and just their own stuff, which is good, obviously. But majority of people out there, especially probably the older agents, are one, may not have time, may not have the knowledge, or just simply don't want to do it, and they're
Do it.
looking for somebody to help them. So that's where you come in and help them on that side, right?
So here's my philosophy. Absolutely. So my philosophy is it doesn't matter if you're 18 or you're 55. It doesn't matter if you've been in the business a day or 20 years. I'm leveling the social media playing field for all real estate professionals. That's my philosophy. You know, You know, it's my gift. I'm skilled at it. I know how to use it, and I see things from a higher perspective, right? When most agents approach the business of real estate, they're looking at it in terms of how can I create a commission, you know, for myself. I'm looking at it and saying, how can I create commissions for others? How can I create more business opportunities for others? And from that perspective, I'm able to see things a little bit differently from somebody who's, and don't get me wrong, this is not a knock to any other realtor. I'm not knocking anybody who self
Sure.
promotes, self markets, right? But I learned a long time ago, service to many leads to fortune. So that's why I see things a little bit different. That's why I come up with a business strategy that I can implement to, you know, if you're a real estate professional, you want to scale, I have what you need to scale your business.
Nice, nice. So how do you help me and Christian here scale what we're doing? Any ideas, any free ideas you can give to us right now?
So I think you guys are, number one, I think you guys are already doing a great job, right? But with any great thing, it takes time to build. So the first thing I would say is you're doing a great job of what you're doing. Continue doing it, right? But then I'll also say, what kind of training can you get to enhance what you already do?
Hmm.
What platforms are you on? How can you, for instance, we had this conversation. I'm gonna go back to my YouTube shorts. In the last 30 days, I scaled my YouTube channel to 180,000 views, right? You guys can do the same thing because you have a podcast. You have a product that you can push out to people, right? And then it's all about your catch, your hook. So when you put out this content, how are you hooking people to want to get engaged? And is there an end product or service that you're looking to reward people with? You know, so for me, I would ask, you know, what's your goals, right? What are you wanting to get out of this, right? Like, if you get the views, what comes next? Always be thinking about what's next. How can you scale? And I think if you think that way, it's always going to, matter of fact, there's an old biblical scripture that says, seek and you'll find, knock it'll be open, ask you'll receive. I'm a
Yeah,
huge believer in that because you said earlier, you know, you asked God when the things are going to go back to the way it was. You got an answer.
very true.
It
Yes.
truly works, you know. Now, whether
Yeah.
you listen to it or not, you know, that goes back to trusting your intuition. But when you
Yeah.
ask for something, you definitely receive.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
For
so that
sure.
that would be my advice. Like, continue doing what you guys are doing. Mondays, I know you guys send out to agents stuff that they can post, content that they can post, right? That's creating value. That's creating relationships. So next time I have a closing, guess who I'm calling,
Mm. Yeah.
right?
I'll
Now you
hold
open
you to
up
that.
the platform. Go ahead, Christian. What you
So I'll hold you to that.
say? You
Hey, there
guys
you
have,
go.
have been present in my life. I've been supportive of everything that I've been doing. So that's the least I can do.
Awesome,
You
man.
know, but you know, you have the podcast too, right? Like
Yeah.
your podcast is giving the opportunity to people like me to tell our stories. That's
Yes.
invaluable. So for people who follow us, people who want to know more about us, they come to your channel, they get that information. That's
Yeah. No,
powerful.
it's true. Yeah, it's true. I had an agent call me last night and she's like, hey, I think I was, she's an older agent and she goes, I want to do that. You know, she's 70. And she's like, I want to do that. She goes, I think I have a good story, those exact words, a good story to share. And as we're finding out again, yeah, we're promoting agents and it's a catch for us to get in front of agents and start a relationship. But yeah, more importantly, it is share your story because no one knows and people need to know, especially those that are up and coming, these young guys, young girls and guys that are coming. They want to be entrepreneurs, they want to be agents or lenders and investors, but they got to hear the struggles because TikTok don't show that. They show all the success of the few who have made it. But even those few that have made it work really hard, and they're very young, but they work really, really hard. But 99% of all the other people are just like, oh, that's fun and cool, and it looks easy, and we could be rich in 90 days. Well, that's not how it works.
Yeah. Not on planet Earth.
Yeah, exactly. But
Hey, but I do
awesome.
want to hear this. You guys asked about a strategy, right? Expand outside of real estate agents. I want you to think about your business from real estate professionals. Could you get in touch with a developer, right? Could you create a relationship with a title attorney, a lender, inspector, home inspector, a surveyor, appraiser. All of these people are within the realm of what you guys specialize in. Those are the relationships that you need to build. Those are the stories that you should be pushing out. Because I got a call a few days ago from Lancaster High School. They want November 9th, I'm going to speak to the students there. She said, hey, I got two sets of students you need to speak with. One are the seniors and the other one are the ones who had a troubled childhood. Right.
Wow.
And I'm honored to speak to them because now I understand I failed my way out of high school. I was in summer school every single year. Right. I didn't know about real estate. I had no family that was investors. I didn't, I had to go the hard way, bumping my head till I figured it out. But for somebody who are in position, we have this knowledge, we know what real estate can do for people. We can go touch these kids and give them information. Say, hey, I don't know if I'm going to go for 4 years, but if I can go for 3 months, get a license and start earning some income, why not do it?
Yes. Yes.
So that's when I say see it from a higher perspective. Don't just consider real estate agents as a customer, as a part of your business plan. Look at the entire chessboard and all the pieces on it.
There we go. That's good. That's really good. And Christian had kind of mentioned something a little bit pertaining to that this morning when we were talking. So that's awesome, man. That's awesome. You get that opportunity to go to high school and speak. Christian asked me the other day, I asked him, I said, what would you do if you could do any job you want? And just you had the choice to do anything. And what was yours? What was yours again?
I do a sports podcast or journalism.
Sports podcast. That's his thing, man. He knows a lot more about sports than I do. And I said, I would want to be a motivational speaker. That's what I would want to do. If I could just do anything I wanted to do, make a lot of money doing it, but have that demand where you're like, man, I'm paying you this much. Come over here, fly across the country, come speak to these people and motivate. That's like, I would love that.
Back on that, right? I believe that when you have an idea, God gave you that idea to bring it into fruition. So it doesn't have to be a dream space in some other reality, right? Like we have matter of fact, I'm gonna give you this. If you look around you right now, everything that you see was an idea at one time, right or wrong?
Yeah, right.
So if you have an idea of being a sports podcaster or a sports broadcaster or a motivational speaker, there's a reason that is tucked away in you. You have the ability to bring it out and manifest it into this reality. The question is, are you going to do the work to make it happen? Right? So
that's key.
Yeah, that's everything that you do, you have to consider what did it take for somebody to get there? Because too much we ask, how did you do it? No, what did you have to go through? And then you can evaluate, is this really for me? Or does it just look good on somebody else, so I want it? Yeah. You have to distinguish the two.
Very true, man. Very true. Good stuff here, man. We keep talking all day. Let's give us your information for your company, your business. How do people reach you with what you're doing, not only as an agent, but also as and the name of the business and the digital media stuff you're creating?
So as a real estate agent, my name is Spencer Hal. My number is 214-499-2522. You can find me on social media at Modern Homes in Dallas. On YouTube, it's Modern Homes in Dallas, Texas. For real estate media, it's Real Estate Media, REEL. So like reels, because that's what's really the hot option topic of today. Real estate media, realestatemedia.com is my website. You can email me at support@realestatemedia or spencer@realestatemedia.net. I said .com, but .net. So yeah, those are my businesses. Those are where I could be reached. I am an agent with KW Central, so we're thoroughly educated on the market. If you guys want an opportunity to buy, sell, invest, if you want to learn how to buy a home and save, I'm pushing new construction. I'm pushing builder incentives right now. So I'd love to have that conversation with you.
Awesome.
Nice, man. And on Instagram, did you give us Instagram?
Yes, Modern Homes in Dallas.
Modern
so
Homes
Instagram,
Instagram.
Facebook, as well as YouTube. I'm on all 4 platforms.
All 4. All right. Man, Spencer, you got a lot of stuff, man, and we want to talk more. I'm definitely going to have to get another one back with you. We love, man, we'd love to collaborate with you this next year. We want to jump into new things, and we've been talking about how we can collaborate, like you said, even go out of our space of real estate just into the business world, the community, get other people's stories onto our podcast. So man, however we can help, I look forward. I believe we're going to do some things together. And so we look forward to that. Kudos to you for what
Thank
you're
you.
doing. The mindset that you have is awesome. It's terrific. And that's where it starts, in the mind, and then it comes out. So man, you got a good head on your shoulders, brother. I really appreciate the things that you said. And I'm going to take some of the advice that you gave and actually apply it to my life as well.
Well, likewise, guys. You guys got great energy. I know that everything that you're doing it to empower others. And you're building something great. I want you guys to believe in it and wake up every day and crush it. You know, don't start tomorrow without a plan today.
Yeah, I like that.
There we go. Spencer, man, it's been real. I will follow up with you. And we're going to meet soon, but we want to take more time right now. I want to keep this. We'll send you this info as soon as we can. We'll do some editing and send it to you. Not like we need to edit it. You're the master. We'll send it to you. You edit it for us.
Hey, whatever y'all need, let me know.
All right, man. Thanks for coming on the Father, Son, and Title Show podcast, Zoom. All right. We'll talk to you later, man.
Y'all take it easy.
All right. See you.